School can be insanely stressful. It can be hard to find a balance between homework, sports, clubs, and free time. With this, high stress levels may occur, and it could lead to anxiety, depression, and burnout. Because of this, students' grades may fall, and there could be a strain on relationships. It is important to remember that you are not alone in your struggles, and there are resources to help you, both in and outside of school. We have an incredible guidance department that can set you up with a tutor if you're struggling academically, or just listen if you need someone to talk to. I'm here with one of our counselors, Ms. Bouchon. Ms. Bouchon, can you tell us how students can get help if they're struggling academically?
Yes, of course. So the best thing for students who are struggling academically to do first is go to their teacher for extra help. I understand that could be sometimes a little intimidating. However, teachers are here for that particular reason to help students be more successful. So definitely scheduling some extra help sessions during lunch or after school whenever they're available. In addition to that, I understand that the National Honor Society and the math team also offers tutoring, either peer or one-on-one tutoring. There is a form that can be filled out in order to be paired with a tutor. So in addition to going in and talking with your teacher, you can definitely do peer tutoring or one-on-one tutoring. Some outside help that we also recommend is through Khan Academy. It's KHAN. It is online and it's free, and it offers so much. From my understanding, it's a lot of different subjects, practice problems, videos from real professionals in that particular subject. So those are just some of the few things to start with, and what we normally offer students who are having a hard time academically.
Thank you. And if a student ever just needs to come down and talk to someone, the office is open, right?
Yes, every counselor is very trained to help students. We actually, as school counselors, address the academic, career, and social emotional needs of all students. So with anything that they need help with, not sure who to go to, where to start, they should always start with their school counselor.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Along with these resources, it is also possible to get help outside of school. Robert Davison, the Chief Executive Officer of the Mental Health Association, will tell us a little more about that. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, what are the most common mental conditions that teenagers experience, and how many teens are affected?
What we've seen in the last 15 years or so is an increase among teenagers in anxiety and depression, as well as an increase in eating disorders among primarily young females, though not exclusively. We've also seen an increase in alcohol abuse, particularly among males, but not exclusively. We've also begun to see the impact of internet gambling. Some people are starting to have issues with that, particularly our young people. That's been in play and trending upwards for the last 15 years. And I would say all those conditions were aggravated by the pandemic, because I think the cohort of individuals that were most affected from a mental health perspective during the pandemic were our young people, I would say ages 13 to 21, because for that population, it was a highly unnatural experience. That's a time in life when young people were supposed to begin to be emancipating from their parents. They're expected to perform at a high level academically and socially, begin dating, things of that nature, participate in a range of extracurricular activities. And, that entire population was told to sit in their room for a year. So that certainly had an impact. And a lot of those dynamics that we're discussing this morning got worse. Having said that, that's the bad news. The good news is I think a lot of our young people, particularly our teenagers, are beginning to rally, and I believe we'll be able to overcome the impact of the pandemic and move on and indeed thrive.
Thank you. So what were some of the causes pre-pandemic, and are they still relevant post-pandemic?
Oh, I think they're very relevant. I think some of the causes are is we place a lot of expectations on young people, far more than I was a teenager, in regards to their academic performance, their social performance, extracurricular activities. I think teenagers today are highly programmed, and we place a lot of demands on them. I think that's had a mental health impact. I've observed it. Also, the impact of social media. Social media is now 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You're connected. That also is not natural. You know, back in the day, if someone was bullied, you got to go home and the bullying stopped. Now, via the internet, the bullying never stops. Also, social media is not the real world. And social media sets up expectations, particularly in regards to body image of what a person should be. And a lot of times the expectations are sent to young people that they need to be body beautiful. That's ridiculous, because not everyone can be or should be a size 2, and not every guy can be 6'4". And, you know, I think we set culturally a lot of unrealistic expectations on people. And I think that has a dramatic effect on people's mental health as well.
Thank you. And finally, if a student is struggling, where can they look for counseling or treatment outside of school?
Well, first, they can call us at the Mental Health Association. We're located right on Parsippany Boulevard at 1160 Parsippany Boulevard, 973-509-9777, where they can contact us through our website at mhainspire.org. That's mhainspire.org. And then furthermore, we just launched a 2 countywide program in both Morris and Sussex County, where we now have a program that's designed to outreach to every school district in the 2 counties, where we can provide mental health support to the greater school community, as well as directly to the student. And if a student is interested in that, they should contact their student assistant counselor or a teacher or a guidance counselor, and they'd be able to access us through that means.
It is important to remember that it is okay not to be okay. There are many ways to combat mental illness, and it is possible to get through the hard times, even if it seems impossible. If you or anyone else that you know is experiencing thoughts of suicide or self-harm, call, text, or chat the National Suicide Hotline at 988.